And all the rising sun we love and cherish, we mount on land of our homes. We must defend our lives, or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all our foes. Life is death for all we hold dear, and it was thine without a shred of fear. Held to be from consecrated mission. Oh, Fatherland, peace be our solemn place. Defending thee
yes, of course, all over the world, they understand what we are asking for. This is Biafra Human Rights Radio and Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station. And of course, Radio Biafra Extra is streaming right through that very station. Biafra Human Rights and Freedom Radio Station is being anchored by the for Mefo. Diokba Uchuka for Mefo hails from Abatete. Abatete is in Anambra State, and Anambra State is Biafra land. Diokba Uchuka for Mefo is the man who has simply assured us that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. This is one word I do not expect everybody to understand the mindset behind it. But it's a matter of time. One day you shall. And by the special grace of the Almighty Creator, I remain George Onyibe. George Onyibe is from Abo. Abo is in Anyo. And every piece of land in Delta State is Biafra land. By the special grace of God on this evening presentation, I will not fail to acknowledge noble men and women who put their resources together, who act as a guidance and the defending individuals on the last outpost when it comes to the issue of Biafra. I will have to remember somebody like Mazi Obienu, the man who has encouraged us in this dying moment to learn to humble ourselves. I want to remember Dr. Kado, the man whose compassion for Biafra consumed him already. Jesus said, the love of my Father's house has consumed me. And so if you will understand. I will move ahead to remember men and women who may be silent, but they are doing great things for the people of Biafra. A day will come, you will know what they are doing. And in most cases, in as much as I do not take permission to mention their name, I'm very skeptical in doing that. Because at the end of the day, Nnamdi Kanu will call his recruit and say, be threatening everybody. But then, if he has to threaten everybody, and everybody into submission, a very lonely place to be. But this having been said, all of you men and women who put resources together to make sure we come on air, I acknowledge you. Biafran watchmen, those sandaled with spiritual responsibility, I acknowledge you. Members of the Biafran Nation family who are actually legally, acknowledge all of you. Those of you who are hiding because you are, acknowledge you. You will be free very soon because you are the one holding yourself. Those of you who are recruited and sent to attack me on Facebook, of course I acknowledge you. Without you, my brother, because you have a job to do. Conscientious people, men and women of goodwill who have been going through what we are, who have been taking record of our encounter as a people, I will encourage you, continue to follow up. Because somewhere along the line, you will have a story to tell. That having been said, I will move ahead to acknowledge the one who said we should move ahead, that is with us. The one who has ordained how all these things will be and has let everything be before our eye. But as men, we cannot go beyond the boundaries he has set for us. And so patiently, with great patience and endurance, perseverance before his presence, we wait for that day to come. I humble myself before him and I say, Anyị na-aja mau makanizuku emara mai ihunanya ne nagi ubadaju inwe gimbanwe o digunye dekage ebu wafa no mega anyị nini na sina ne de. You see. And of course, this evening, in the midst of the confusion. To believe by now all of us are used to it. We are used to the way of confusion in Nigeria because it did not start today. It has been part of us from inception. We were born into this chaos. We have developed defense mechanism to live in such rowdy and crazy atmosphere. Because if we are sincere to ourselves, this is exactly what we get in the Nigerian state. Amidst all the stories that are flying around, amidst all the deception in the air, amidst all the greedy men and women who want to live on the expense of their people, amidst the abominable, we keep pushing. We keep focusing on that which concerns us as a people. This evening, our topic is simply titled, Two Ways Out of Nigeria. And the need for us, when I mean us at this time, I'm talking about the need for Biafrans to adequately equip themselves for the inevitable. The Oduduwa nation is agitating for disintegration of Nigeria. It gladdens my heart, and I wish it's true. Because there are things we know, we cannot expect you to tell us otherwise. Go ahead with your idea. I go ahead with my idea. I think that is the fertility of democracy. Every form of fella. And so everybody has right to express their opinion and feeling. Of course, as far as it does not encroach on the right of another man. Yes, the Oduduwa nation are fighting. Yes, they want Nigeria divided. But let us hope it's not about 2023 presidential election, because there will always be presidential election. And then maybe we are gone. And then our children will continue from where we stop. The next generation must be guided by principle. Principle that will make them constantly remember that they are not animal. They are not beast of burden. Only animal lives by the instincts that they have to kill others in order to be alive. But women are supposed to be guided by principle. Today there are rumors of everybody crying, let Nigeria divide. And which I welcome all of them. Because under normal circumstance, anybody who is supporting the continually existence of Nigeria does not mean well to the people. And from what we see, her inevitable end, the wind of inevitability is blowing all around Nigeria, which must surely come to an end at any given time. The system already is collapsing and reacting against itself. The question simply says there is need for the Biafran people to adequately prepare themselves. If Nigerians continue to manifest these characters, we all know already, lack of infrastructural development, it is going to destroy its foundation. There are certain characters or attributes that Nigerian state has been manifested, which even without look at infrastructural decay, it is enough for people to cry. Majority of the court system we have around Biafra land are we talking about the hospital facilities? When you hear sometime unknown gunmen attack police, you think these are building. Yes, Imo Correctional Facility was attacked. Most of them are built with mud house, and these are the property of colonial master. Most of these buildings I have mentioned are the properties of the colonial master. To this extent, till this moment were the handwork of the colonial masters. And so those who are deliberately making sure that there are always infrastructural decay, because it enables them make more money. Whether the people react or the people did not react, the principle itself will react when they continually withhold salaries of civil servant workers. You create levy tax upon the citizens. You deliberately initiate unemployment. All these things, whether the people react, whether the people realize, whether the people know or not, as far as Nigeria is concerned, will manifest by itself. As far as Nigerians continue to manifest this tendency of deliberate emasculation, there are so many things we don't want to talk. Of course, we have been saying this for almost a decade, analyzing and revealing the truth regarding our position, Biafra's position in the Nigerian. Some of them tonight is just to take your mind back there. Go and check the population of Nigerians that work with LPDC, for instance, Shell or any other oil company. It will amaze you that you can only get Biafrans there who will do the manual job than those who don't have oil. If you talk about those who are academians, qualified people, we have them. But most of you Nigerians will argue it and say this is not right. But then the one that is obvious is that more than 90% or 80% of Nigerian military are all Fulani. Most of them are foreigner. If there is need to admit 100 students into the Nigerian Defense Academy as we speak, it has to take a very tight relationship as a Biafran with the Nigerian state to have this position. We all know these things already. And as far as it continues, as far as all this evil, atrocity, Nigerian state, I tell you the truth, one way or the other, Nigeria will erupt. Are we going to consider the issue of unconstitutional constitution? We all know all this. A lot of people are out there fighting to bring down the constitution of Nigeria. Even at that stage, they have to compromise their instrument. Why? Because within the unconstitutional constitution, there are a lot of instruments of justice that have crippled everybody. Why? Because it is a decree. We do not have constitution. Whether it is democracy, we are still under military regime, because it is said when the military are in power, the constitution is suspended. And when the constitution is suspended, anybody who is holding the mic, anybody who is controlling the Aso Rock can come out and make any emergency law. And begin to ask yourself a question: how can a country practicing democracy eventually still have a mobile court in operation? And then we are not going to go deep there, because at the end of the day, we all know that Nigerian constitution is simply decree. When the military was in power during the eras of coup d'etat, somebody just wake up, they will give an order for you to be hanged. You will be denied access to competent court jurisdiction. You will not have access to court system. Whatever that person says becomes the law. Under this influence, under these guys, Abdul Salami Abubakar made our constitution. Nobody was consulted. They tag it with a very big lie that shakes the foundation even of the people of Nigeria. But that man that goes by that name, with the people of Nigeria, we will know him very soon. The people of Nigeria didn't make that law. It is imposed law on the people of Nigeria. And so under this unconstitutional constitution, we all have been emasculated, most especially our people. If it's not changed, and there is one mystery about life, I will not say it tonight. As a member of the Biafran Watchmen, we are watching those signals, those lines. And so it's going to be very bad when this thing starts. We are all aware of it. Nigeria, for a very long time, made sure that there is no constitutional conference. The last one they have was a gang up of kiosks. They made sure that there is no constitutional review. They make sure that nobody goes there. We come into that chamber and we represent ourselves. We appoint people who will say what they are expected to say. But believe me, whether in pretense, whether in truth, in reality, in sincerity, in honesty, whatever guise anybody is presenting or projecting their matter, the truth is that everybody is coming of age. And you know, when they were children, they behave like children. And when they are old, they behave like adults. And so for 60 years or 50 years on, inside this same Nigeria, we are facing the same challenge. It is the same vehicle, but different driver. Forget about where it is coming from the north, from the west, from the south, from the east. It is the same group of people. They deceive all of us. And not until you move out from among them, you will never see the truth behind what we are telling you. And that is why the Bible says, move you out of their group. Do not negotiate with them. See yourself from amongst them. Because as far as you are there, you will not see the truth. But in all these things having said, with all this encounter on daily basis, it does not change anything. The newly appointed IG of police has told you what he will do. But the truth remains that those are stories for the gods. We have been hearing those stories. It can never be. Nigerians as police IG or DPO or commissioner, as the case may be, have in time past told you there is no more SARS, there is no more checking point, there is no more this. But they come back doing the same thing. We understand in most cases they have slight idea of what they should do. But they cannot do it. Because doing it will collapse the very system that is in existence. The very structure of Nigeria that is in existence. They cannot do it. And so with all these atrocities going on, it is going to end in two ways. It will end in two ways. It is either Nigeria end, this suffering end, this attack end, by Nigerian openly and truthfully embracing the amendment of the 1999 Constitution. As a way of calling for plebiscite, they need to gather people who are supposed to be there, conduct a constitutional review, not even by the supposedly national conference, but that should be a means or a process through which they get to that very end. So let everybody review the Constitution. If they can do this wholeheartedly, that is restructure some people are campaigning for. I tell you the truth. If Nigeria will allow restructure to take place in its totality and fairness, nobody will be agitating for Biafra. Some of these crises you see here will not be there. Restructured Nigeria is as good as Biafra. Why did I say this? Ojukwu knew this. He chose restructure before he decided to follow on the alternative, which is Biafra. And so if Nigeria will not allow Biafra to exist, I will categorically tell you that that issue of Biafra is something that will not come by mere wishing. But do they really have a choice? No. One way or the other, they will oblige to the need, the request of the people. A lot of things were wrong. The system have been infiltrated and manipulated by individuals within and outside. They were constant interference in jurisdiction and region that is not. They were killing on rampage. They were different crime and atrocity going on among Nigerians in Nigeria. And then some few good men said, instead of us to continue like this, let us restructure Nigeria. Maybe every region have their own. Then just like you have in advanced countries like America and the rest, that will not stop our problem, but that will give us a sense of belonging. That will make us understand that we are responsible for what we are going through as a people. And that will make us to be able to internally heal ourselves before we can ask for external help. It can be compared to someone that is sick. If your defense mechanism is strong enough, your body herself. But it is only when she's unable to heal herself that you now request for external drug to support your body defense mechanism. And so if Nigeria were properly restructured, every region, irrespective of the challenge they will face, will have the ability to internally heal themselves. Only in a case where they are not able to manage it, and then you can call the federal external help to come and help them. Able to any region. And so you will see from within each region, everybody will be fighting very hard to come and intervene in their affairs. Because if that continually happens, their privacy will be invaded. But come to think about it, if today, as we speak as people of Biafra, and for one reason or the other, the United Nations, among other international bodies, decide to step into the issue of Nigeria and said, okay, after all, amalgamation has expired, let the people go. Can you imagine if they call for referendum? Because as we are agitating for Biafra, there are a lot of Biafra who are agitating for one Nigeria. And so the ultimate solution is to call for referendum. And now those of us who are agitating for Biafra, irrespective of the pro-Biafran group you belong to, are you sure if they call for referendum that we have made adequate preparation or arrangement? Because there are two ways out of this issue, out of this mess, only two ways. One is through referendum. Of course, there are upcoming elections. I have observed people even in the most remoted village, how they conduct election. Grandmothers who cannot even pronounce PDP, they know everything they need to know. It shocks me, we were discussing and I told the boy, does your mother know PDP or APC? The grandmother turned and looked at us, said, how did he say it? Ebue umbrella. And as old as she is, And so, no matter what you tell such an old woman, she knows that if it is election, as far as they have helped her to get her PVC, she should be looking for where they keep umbrella. And that is because she knows that PDP is a political party in Nigeria, or an APC as well. Some of them have been properly indoctrinated about the broom. These are primary initiatives that are supposed to be carried out among our people. When we are on the internet shouting Biafra, Biafra, if most of you are sincere to come and see the level of work that is done on ground, most of you will weep. And so even though Nigeria comes up and say, let there be referendum, that is when we begin to run around. Hey, we have to contact, go to Igede, go to Idoma, go to here, go to here. But at this moment, we are dragging who will be the champion. But if a referendum is conducted and majority of Biafrans say they want Nigeria, that is the end of agitation. Because the people have spoken. We are just looking at one option. And so we should begin to ask ourselves, 50% of those people who joined this agitation are regretting it already. They are tired and worn out. They wish they never joined even in the first place. And then how can you bring more people to join? How can you encourage more people to join? And if you have done that already, you should not forget that most of those 50 people who have not joined and they know what is happening already, they are thanking God that they if there is this type of sentiment in the air from where we come from where we are fighting for, and then you can still come out and claim boldly you're fighting for a country. Is it a country that exists on social media? Is it a country that will never be? Which one are we not saying here? And the amazing thing is that with the level of educated people we have in Biafra land, and most of them compromising the truth, is unbelievable. And that is why, if with your level of education and exposure, you are still behaving lower than the primary school people, I can only wonder, you and Obasanjo and Babangida, who is better? Or don't you know these people didn't go to school? They were never in school. Forget about honorary degree, Harare degree, all of them from United Kingdom. These were part of the plan to when they go outside their terrain. They didn't go to school. And now we are running the Biafra affair where these people are not part of the system. And each time I look, I see doctors, I see professors, I see captains of industry, I see men and women of caliber. But when they talk, I am shocked. Does these people, do we actually think it is something that will give us glory, fame? Or do we understand that it is the life of a people that is on the line? That if with the level of your exposure, gone through all this degrading human treatment, what about your children who did not have the privilege of getting such education that you have? I don't think what we have in Nigeria is school anymore. And so if Nigeria was, I tell you the truth, somebody said it in one of the clips I listened to, we cannot get that referendum. We can't. And mad character we exhibit, believe me, it will shock you. And so that should call us or inform us the need to begin to recoordinate ourselves. It is not what you think you can do at this moment. There is something you cannot do very soon. It is not what you think you have achieved at this moment. Because like not until we hit the target, not until this freedom will yearn we are doing, we are all deceiving ourselves. But then there is a need for us to begin to reactivate every pro-Biafran group, every individual who actually believe in the total dismemberment of Nigeria, to go back and wherever they can to begin to re-educate our people. Because already it's a mess, it's a shame. No matter how much you try to launder image, it doesn't matter what you are, you're trying to prove what you are not. You cannot deceive anybody. Most people who take us serious, they just look at, please leave those people. The presidency, unquote, in Nigeria, they don't even take you serious. It doesn't matter. But rather, there is need to change formation. Most people would have think, yes, we are moving, we go to front of United Nations, we snap picture. All of you, from Nnamdi Kanu to Saboteur and everybody, all of you, call in and tell me what we have achieved so far. Are very successful in doing, in the name of Biafra agitation, is creation of Saboteur. And we clap for Nnamdi Kanu. Creation of Saboteur, which I am the number one, the chairman of all the Saboteur. What have we achieved? You threaten governors, you collect your own share, you threaten everybody, you bamboozle them, you blackmail everybody. Standing, you will be alone in that country. And that country will end in your father's compound, not even in your father's street. Ask yourself a simple question. What have we achieved? Is it consultation? There are stakeholders in this issue. All of them are crossing their leg and they are looking at us. And each time we visit these people, we know what it tells us. You can condemn them. They are 419, they are Janjaweed, they are Fulani. But our fathers are among them. And I tell you, be better than them in life, sincerely. Only two people will sincerely want me to be better than them in life. These are my father and my mother. Any other person, I don't believe it. But there are good people anyway. So most of these people you call Janjaweed, they are our fathers and our mother. Father, it can only happen when mothers and fathers are not talking, and this is the time for all of them to begin to talk. Two ways out of this mess. One is through referendum. What preparation do we have? I can categorically tell you that as I'm speaking on this very fateful day, there is no single arrangement by any group, by anybody that is effective. None. But when we can say, hello, he has told me, Biafra will come tomorrow. I have told you, he will come. Then gradually they change the word. It's all about the monthly due. But of course, men and women must continue to pay monthly due. Men and women must continue to support what we are doing. But men and women should try and find out what is the essence of our achievement. Where have we gone to? Do you know how many? Do you know some of them would have been millionaire? Do you know some of them are the sons? Do you know some of them dead body cannot be recovered? Do you know that we are responsible for the death of most of them? Ask China Sanworu. And when they come here, hey, Fulani are killing us, so they are Janjaweed. I don't even know who to be afraid of. Fighting for freedom. If truly we have a mission to save our people, it is time for us to reevaluate our stand. If they call for referendum now, how would that referendum be? If they call referendum, I tell you the truth. If they didn't ask Nnamdi Kanu, okay, bring your people for referendum, Nnamdi Kanu will kill everybody and make sure nobody come for referendum. But some of you don't see it. You just don't understand the game that is playing. Going to every single movie make we know where he's going to. We keep quiet so that it will not affect other areas of our life. entertainment industry. There are many issues to be analyzed, but let's focus on this only two-way out. Only two-way out. Almost all the governors, almost all those people that will be deployed to work on that session, if there is a case for a plebiscite, all of them will even help to vote against Biafra. They will rig Biafra up and down. They will rig us. They say, where is the high tech? The high tech that will expose you, or which of the high tech? Our own people who will be appointed in terms of if the issue of plebiscite is to be allowed will even rig us. Let us say it in the truth. Which of our politicians within the South and the Southeast that is wholeheartedly in support of what we are doing? Oh, they are Janjaweed, they have collected money, they are Fulani slave. But they have so much role to play in your life when those issues are concerned. Only Abaribe. And then some of them will come out and then show little support. All in an attempt for you to support them in the upcoming election. And Buhari know this. That is why they give you people number 4 governor in Imo State. But when you are saying, oh, they change our governor, hey, it's a Supreme Court. But all of you know the game that played out that made them to take somebody who is not supposed to be there. And they put him there. What? Which community do you control? Which community do you control? Not to talk of local government. None. Because to some people, they think they come and talk anyhow, intimidate everybody, harass everybody. But this is the truth you will know. Some people cannot be intimidated. Some people cannot be intimidated. You can't harass them. You cannot, because harassing them, intimidating them, undermining them, bring us the monster in them. And I tell you, you will not survive the day. Not be everybody then they harass. And then you have somebody like that in the helm of affair. Which of these governors can help us? Which of them? Which of these politicians, which of this monarch can come out? You think the government don't know what to do or what they are doing? They pay almost all the monarch. Pay all of them. Give them good jeep. Like the type they give Nnamdi Kanu and his brother Fine Boy. And these are the people fighting for our freedom. And people expect we keep quiet. Then why are we talking about Nigeria? Why are we condemning Fulani Janjaweed? Why must we even talk about Boko? That is the number one. So you if you are listening now, go back and tell me, what is our achievement? Those of you who are connected to the high places, look for any member, secretary, United Nations or anywhere. Tell them this issue of Biafra, how do you see it? If they respect you, they say, well, what do we do? We don't. But yet some riffraff and misguided fellas are on Facebook. Hey, I can wait Biafra. Let me tell you, if where you are staying in diaspora, you are frustrated, my brother, you can do something. You can do something. You can do something and change your life. Believe me. You are the product of your thoughts. You are the product of your thought. Don't accept that challenge. Learn to improvise. And you don't know the miracle that will come out from there. This is one of the principles my father taught us. When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world. But we must be guided by truth, fairness, sincerity. Let me digress and give you a little story. My immediate younger brother, he can speak more than 14 different international languages. More than 14 international languages. From German to Italy to French. 4 major languages they have in India. He can speak all of them. He traveled like most of you in diaspora. And for 10 years, we did not hear from him. We did not see him. My immediate younger brother. And finally, 10 years later, we were able to contact him. And we're like, what happened? He said the very day he landed in that country from the aeroplane, Nigerian, to where he went to, the people who came to pick him from the airport, on getting to their compound, they had issues. They were quarreling. He didn't know it was drug issue. As a normal village local champion, he wanted to separate them. And when those community police came, everybody ran away. He was just coming from village now. He stood there and was watching them. They arrested him. They tagged him that he is among the drug dealer. Spot, which they sold. Everybody abandoned him. Why am I bringing up this? He was locked up in the prison. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. 7 years later, I was in prison. I have said this in one of my earliest broadcasts. And so it was not in school. He didn't study lingua franca. In prison, he learned all these languages. And I thank God for that grace. These are some of the things you people see there. He saw it. Do you know why they released him? He said one day, somebody from that country advised him. You may end up serving life here. But let me tell you how to escape. Our law says that when somebody in detention goes mad, the person will be released automatically. So you are going to form madness. So in the morning when they come to attend to them, my younger brother formed madness inside prison. If I tell you how he formed the madness, let me leave it for another day. They gave him certificate of madman. As I'm talking to you in that country, they don't arrest him. In fact, he's among those community police. Why am I saying this? Life was meant to destroy him. But he learned to survive in the midst of those suffering. Those of you in diaspora, don't let anybody tell you because you don't have paper that is the end of your life. Just pray you have good people at home. Little change your whole life when you come back here. Let every day count for you. Because most of you are deceived. Because they are telling you, don't worry, when Biafra come, they will give you asylum. We will help you to get paper. So even Yoruba are getting Biafra asylum paper more than you that is a Biafra. But let us assume agitation was not there. Don't you believe you can make something? Some people went through the desert. They knew they could die. They would not make it. But they made it. Some of them. So why you that is already in Europe will think you will not make it? Who told you you are going to die? Don't let frustration to push you to what you are doing. No? Because some of us have been there. And then with our extensive knowledge, understanding, and experience of that frustration, you come and bring it for us. You will see what you have not bargained. But you are my brother. You are not my enemy. We are victims of the same circumstance. Go back, all of you, and ask yourself a question. What have we achieved in 10 years aside insult? Iwa akpamu, iwe onyoshi, iwe otoro, iwe ike, ine esisi, ibonka. What is our achievement? the young man they asked, and then he got drunk with power. Mad black people, stupid black people, hopeless black people, idiot black people. I wonder why his interview with the other lady is not trending. When he go and she no kesini wera by you. Just one way, the judicial way to get our freedom. They don't fight over it. Imagine those times we have opportunities to hold meeting. Our target and agenda was to religionize the whole system. Not religionize in sense of removing their brain for them. No, creating a form of fellowship that automatically makes everybody to become one, even without their knowledge. And for this to be achievable, there must be proper orientation. Information must be distilled at every level. And then, like a family, a single tree with its branches, we can be able to raise up our voice together and make a demand. One demand, everybody stand up. We have evidence of this success all around us. Yoruba people have been able to attend to that level. Fulanis have been able to attend to that level. At least to mention but a few. Why can't we get to that level if they can? And so if we have two-way option, one which is through the plebiscite, referendum, or two, which is the ultimate war. Finally, so if at the end of the day they don't give you referendum, there is nothing you are going to do. Let us fight war. Let's fight war. I look at people who are saying our Ibubago is okay. Our Eastern Defender is okay. But the truth you are not listening to. The robbing of bank have not started. They will rob bank. They will rob market women. They will rob just to maintain that their security. This is not a small boy. Let me tell you how it's going to be. Because what most of you are not calculating. If in the end, the only option they give us to up of Nigeria is to fight war. And then you begin to say, in 13 states in Nigeria, you have Biafran present there. And then you want to mount a soldier on the border of Biafra land. Do you think 60,000 men can cover the territory, the boundary of Biafra land? 90,000 men? Do you think they can mount a sentry duty post? Now let me tell you how it works. If you are traveling from Port Harcourt, for instance, okay, let's go to Aba. From Osisioma, you are traveling to Arochukwu. Do you know how many hours it will take you to travel within a state? And all those areas, for instance, is a borderline. Do you know how many men you are going to position there? And they say, well, we raise flag, we do this, we raise. My brother, for 3 years, Ojukwu understand the need why the soldiers have to eat rats, cockroach, everything. Because let's say they are going by 60,000 men a meal, which we know cannot give an adult good food. And so 900 a day. And so 30,000 people, you feed them with 1,000. Let's include soap and all that thing. For a month, that is how much. And then you times it to that 30,000 individual. And then you times it to like 1 year. How much is that? Who have that money in Biafra land? Who have that money? We have not talked about the gun. We have not talked about the bullet. We are not talking about medical facilities. We are not talking about other requirements for them to survive. Just check only the feeding. You will know we have a job to do. This is not the job of one man. Not the governors alone. Not the captains of industry alone. Everybody will have to make their own support. And if we say, yes, it's going to be war, these are known facts. Our people scattered all over the world. You divide them into 100. Those of us at home are not even up to one part. What arrangement have we made to safeguard the life of our people outside Biafra land? But we ignore it. If we are going to fight war now, in order of my previous broker, I used to tell people, I say, by the time there will be war, I said it myself, that there are certain people I will turn back, and if I see them, I will shoot them first before I kill my enemy. This was not coming from hatred. Poison in the system that we are not going anywhere. When Nnamdi Kanu designed 2 types of oaths, those Mugu who cannot reason properly, he sent them to Igwe Kala in the name of Hallelujah Nwachukwu, not giving them oath so that they can have the right to fight us and attack us. And then to some of us who he see as a threat, he sent us to Abenokpabe, another shrine. And then when I know you are not under oath, but Nnamdi Kanu use you to deceive so I can walk with you comfortably, you want me to walk with you? These are the same people tell you, let's go to war, let's go to war, we will fight war. Do you know who is going to kill who? Each day we investigate the mindset of our people. We begin to see that most people don't even see how large this country should be. You just don't have single idea of what a community should be, not to talk of a nation. But then somewhere along the line, it is convenience for us to shout it, Biafra, Biafra, we want freedom, we want freedom. And yet we do not know the true definition of this freedom. Is there any people we are going to leave to die, or you want to kill all of us so that when you finish the war, you can now come back and collect our property? Boys who out of frustration, joblessness, to say they are known gunmen or they are Eastern Security or they are Uchemba, Ubuago. We have reevaluated the cost. Monopoly over this thing. If what we are doing is not to safeguard the life, make a move. Don't make a move. And you can use up where I come from, we don't betray our own. We don't. Some of them may try to do that. Like those people who are in France, 7 children, 7 husbands. And of course, Nnamdi Kanu was able to cripple into them to blackmail me. But the same Anyoma people came out and won the person. We are not better than anybody, but we were taught avoidance. If we can't flow together, everybody go your own. Don't destroy anybody. The reason I'm even mentioning Nnamdi Kanu is that he's so determined to demonize everybody. Is it not in Wokenkwo and Ozurumba? He's not telling you they are criminal, they are this, they are that. These are honorable men. And as far as he has learned to demonize everybody, he has a very long way to go. So then, we are going to kill you when we catch you. I tell you, there are people you don't kill. There are if Nnamdi Kanu know the level we are today, we'll end up eventually. All those ranting and yarning they were doing in the gangster called US, they won't do that. But some of you are waiting for war. Let the war come. Let's go to war. You don't know what is coming. We have seen it already and we weep. There are some of your brothers who are even preparing for you. They will be the one to round you up. I can assure you that. Have we not learned enough lesson? And everything we need to get our freedom, we have it. It is just coordination. We've almost gotten there. But now we missed it all. And so what are we doing? We're starting all over again. And this time our people must learn to use their mind. The only thing you do now, they have narrowed it down to Igbo agitation. It is not coming and say, people in Akwa Ibom are doing well, they are not doing well, but they are killing themselves. Why? Because you create fashion there to enable you function. You divide them. You couldn't create this. So you set all the Delta State indigene up. You set all of them up and put the people that hate them. And all of you there are seeing all this evil. You're keeping quiet. So how possible do you think it will be for you on ground here? 1 year you law. Everybody must learn to respect themselves. You've created more enemy for our people than friends. And the only thing they are selling pennies, they are selling prick, and so what? And so what? What about the thousands of them that are slaughtered? And it looks as if they never resisted. Look at the state we are now. We don't even know when Fulani attack or when unknown gunmen attack. Under peaceful atmosphere, we couldn't organize ourselves. Is it in this moment of chaos that we will organize ourselves? And most of you in diaspora who don't even know what is happening, instead of you to ask people to give you true stature of what is going on, you will not do that. You just go close to your radio and then you listen. Then they send. It's a saboteur. They have collected money from MI5. Is MI5 not paying you Mazime for again? My brothers, we have two ways out of this predicament. Number one is we go by referendum or we go through war. War, serious war. Have we made adequate preparation? Are we truly ready for what is to come? Or we just have to be entertaining our people? For instance, as I come and say, yes, we are moving on, we will kill them, we will show them like this, we will move ahead like this. The earlier all of you embrace the truth, get used to the truth, because we have a long journey, the better for all of us. This is not about the Yoruba. This is not about the Hausa Fulani. This is just about the people of Biafra. This is about the people of Biafra. This is about all of us. Where is the unification we talk about? Where is the consultation we talk about? Where is the need for adequate preparation? It is no longer an issue. What is the issue? You are harassing everybody. You want your own share. You want to eat from that security vote. On whose expense? Where are the institutions? Where are the people making preparation? Oh, it's referendum, it's referendum. People pay billions across the globe and then you print handbill. When we were almost there, all of a sudden they sealed, delivered and documented. So in all these things we are planning to do, we have to be sincere to ourselves because we are the people involved. We are the people involved. It is truth that brought us here. And all of us, we are here on Facebook. Of course, at this moment, our lines are open. Our WhatsApp line is 070-815-45642. 070 815 45642. Our direct line is 081 221 52971. 081 221 52971 is our direct number. And of course, for one reason or the other, it is difficult to access my line at the right time. If you are not able to connect with that line, you have access to my private WhatsApp, or you have access to my other platform. You are free to call in and air your opinion. We have two ways out of Nigeria. One is through referendum, and the other one is through war. And I want to categorically believe that so many Biafrans are not interested in war, most especially when they know that there are other ways, there are other available means to get their freedom. They are not ready. And then if it has to be through referendum, which most of them will subscribe to, what is the level of our preparation? And of course, at this moment, our lines are open. And everybody who is interested, you have to make their own opinion, because the people must be properly informed, properly enlightened, and getting ready for the next shift. I'll be back in a minute.
Mr. Pro, I'm doing it.
Monk on the beat.
Listen, I can see my people, see my baby in my house. I can see my people in rivers, downtown, West River and Akwa Ibom, Ibaka in Edo State, in Enugu. I can see my people in Anambra. I also see my people in Ebonyi, Imo and
Yes, of course, this is where we will be drawing the curtain to wind up, and that is if nobody is able to access this line. But like I said, the WhatsApp line remains 42 070-815-45642, and then our direct line is 081-221-52971, 081-221-52971. Those are the numbers to call if you still meet me on air. But outside that, we have two ways to go on this journey. And this truth must be embedded in the heart of every Biafran son and daughter. This truth must be buried in their heart, one way or the other. It's either we go through referendum or we go through war. Which one do you want? And how prepared are we in any of? Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp.
Yes, I can hear you, Diapa.
That is audio Guinea.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Good evening from here. Go ahead, my brother.
A great evening from here. I thank Chukwu Kitabiama for the great work you're doing for our land and the way you're analyzing things to make sure that our people being understand. But first of all, I have to greet the Biafrans. I say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending your time zone. Still remain your humble servant, Mazi Chidera Odogele. I reside in South Africa. I'm a Biafra from Akanitem. We go nowhere and we keep doing what we are doing. Things that are going on with the, will I call it Ekperiman Nandekano? Gallant men in America. I tell them how far. I will say them how far. The same way you call the people in London rat in the cage, the same way gallant men that build their life, their parents, you come and telling them that they made $77,000. They are criminal. Oh my goodness. Shame. I repeat again, not serve the zoo and come back in shame. In shame. He serve Ekperiman Nandekala and come back in shame, because whenever you ask him a question or whenever you stand to know the truth, if he's trying to restore Biafra, then you become a criminal. That's what he's doing. Call himself IPOB. They cannot be able to notice what is going on. How much did Nnamdi Kanu defrauding from the Igbo nation, Igbo people? He will come on air tell you, no Igbo man gave me any money, no Igbo man. But Igbo man, all Igbo man all over the world contributing money. The money that meant for the to do volunteer. But now he tried to humiliate people that live in states. Now it's people in states. I told them, after UK state, it's one after the other. Then you go another area. Ekperiman Nandekala is always like freedom, unknown government, ENCN, no more Biafra. Before you know it, he will tell you that people, Igbo people or Biafran people they betray him. Go back to a lot of posts are going on social media. Nandekala for book, all of them. He mentioned Uchenna Shebu, may he so rest in peace, barrister. They will not betray him. But now, who is betraying who? That's the question they're supposed to ask this criminal of our time. Yeah, I say he's a criminal of our time because he's the one that betraying everyone, whether he like it or not. The only thing you hear about money. So this freedom fight is all about money. You are fighting money, not freedom, not to restore Biafra land. Ekperima Nnamdi Kanu is fighting money. Money. This one take your money. Which money? Do you have any money? You always sleep in the car. You remember, you forgot your voice. You forget your broadcast. You always sleep in the car. But now it's money. Oh my goodness. My people, wake up and stand up and do the needful. And make sure that you can be able to restore your land. I don't know what you are. Oh my God. Okay, let me put it in this way. He tried to tarnish their image. He said $77,000. If they take $77,000, how much Ekperima Nnamdi Kanu is stealing from IPOB every blessed day? Let's ask him that question. Only come on radio to rant. He will rant here. And nobody gave me money. Nobody do this. Which firm does Nnamdi Kanu work? No firm. Which place Nnamdi Kanu was? Which company he owned before? Go and ask those questions. Ask the full details of Nnamdi Kanu. Find out what he was doing in the beginning before he hijacked Radio Biafra from Wazirike. Okay. I was thinking that after the second broadcast of Wazirike, they will come and publish it and talking rubbish on social media. Now they are hiding. They don't know what Eda sit down and see. The little children cannot be able to see it. But we are here to restore. You know, every day. I like to say it when I used to broadcast. I say Chifo Anozo from Nnamdi Kanu. All of you that are busy dancing Mambi with Nnamdi Kanu, he will humiliate all of you. Go back and listen to his broadcast. He said, if you serve Nigeria, you come back. If you back in humiliation, he will humiliate you. See what is happening to people. Igbo in America is doing it all over the world. All the whole Igbo.
What is trying to do is to destroy the system, the struggle. Then once he destroys it, then he will blame the people.
Yes, exactly. If you stand up and ask questions, you would like to create a formula of, hey, this one has. I thought Nnamdi Kanu said that the only woman is the one that is in charge of the finance. Why can't you him ask Nene how much he's stolen from IPOB? Because they are working hand in hand. That's why he cannot be able to. Him and Nene is the one that siphoning the money that make for IPOB. Why can't he stand up and him have Nene record all over the world? They are siphoning the money that make. Contribute. I never hear them calling on air to say.
Ego idozi obodo. Ego idozi goto. Ego idozi afia. Ego idozi. Ndị Biafra, which obodo then does ndị ohi?
Money for men. For this, we are building hospital. All these things are fraud. Yahoo freedom fight all over the in IPOB. No, ask Nene Anya, remove Nene Anya, maybe the record will come out. He will not remove Nene Anya, and the Nene Anya, he cannot be able to remove Nnamdi. To Ekperima. They are busy there. Okay, keep contributing. He will keep siphoning all your money. Although they don't have job. Igbo people are the job they have. IPOB have become their own job. They are not fighting for freedom. Oh my goodness. Now is blackmailing. Keep blackmailing. But we are here. We go nowhere. The Oponibe, keep doing what you are doing.
Thank you.
Keep doing. Only thing I want to tell my people, my Igbo brother, Igbo nation, wake up. don't stop this man to tarnish your image. He will keep tarnishing your image forever. As long as you keep doing mumbling, jumping, mumbling with Ekperimana and the Kali, you keep tarnish your image. It's time for stop this nonsense. Thank you and keep doing what you are doing. I still remain your brother, Diopa Odogele. We go nowhere.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. We must continue. Our people must understand. We have two ways out of Nigeria. If you like, come, they are killing us in Ebonyi. Hey, wait, they shoot us in Imo. Hey, wait, they are on the Chahed Bridge. Hey, wait, they are shooting us in Abo. Hey, wait, they are killing us. We've done this thing for 10 years. No single evidence to show any of this happened. The enemies were not consulted. The friends were not consulted. The owners of the company called Nigeria were only some Yahoo media front deceiving our people. Two ways of option. Referendum, no single preparation. And what you want to hear is, oh, yes, we will bomb police, we will kill police, we will attack army, we will go. I think they want to go to Abuja to attack Fulani. Oh, I laugh in vernacular. We will go and attack Fulani, we will kill the Janjaweed. And some of you, your morale will high. You go to attack Fulani Janjaweed. My brother, Ekaboso Okwa Bayefo. You think it's a joke? Of course, we must continue. Yes, that is my Okwi. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mazo Nibe.
Good evening from here.
I can hear you, Mazo Nibe. From here.
Thank you for joining me. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, sir. My name is Mazi Okwionwuka. I am calling him from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I am from Obunike. Obunike is in Oyi. Oyi is in Anambra, Biafra land. Mazi, thank you very much for another wonderful opportunity you're giving to me to speak to our people. I really want to thank you. It's been a while. I haven't called in on your program, but I can always listen to you. And I appreciate all the work that you are doing for Biafrans. This is a case of enlightening, making our people to understand what is in the front of them. So it's very important. I heard the last caller talking about Biafran people, great Biafrans, and that Nnamdi Kanu has taken London IPOB family members or the UK IPOB family members, rats in a cage, and now he has moved to the United States of America to destroy the name of strong Biafrans. Biafrans that are dedicated to the restoration of our country, people of honesty, people with real daytime job, people that actually stand up for what is good. And talking about these people that Nnamdi Kanu made an allegation against, I have been able to post some receipts on my Facebook page, and I have made sure that receipts are coming from our brother Dr. Uchenna Nwokonkwo. Dr. Uchenna Nwokonkwo is one of the people that Nnamdi Kanu is trying to destroy his name. It's going to be an impossible task for Nnamdi Kanu this time around. On this case, we are standing tall and we're standing strong. And we want to tell the Afghans exactly what happened, so they will know. Nnamdi Kanu took $49,101 from this account. $49,101. Let me call it $50,000. Somebody did that for him. The name of the person that did that for him is Dr. Clement Okoro. Dr. Clement Okoro was the coordinator of IPOB in the United States when our brother Obidio Obienu was the North American rep. And maybe last month, then Nnamdi Kanu asked before then, Nnamdi Kanu asked Dr. Okoro to go on self-resignation. He did. And afterwards, he's been appointed now as the North American rep. I am saying this so that our people will understand. I've posted out on my Facebook page. My Facebook page is Okuyo Onwuka. You can go there and check it out. $1. It's what Dr. Okoro fraudulently, because he was not supposed to go and take that money out of that account. On the instruction of Nnamdi Kanu, he went and took that money out. And that money, of course, supposedly, was handed to Nnamdi Kanu. That's number one. Another one is $19,000, of which Nnamdi Kanu asked Dr. Uchenna Nwokonkwo to send to Barrister Ejiofor, who is in Nigeria. Barrister Ejiofor, the IPOB, from Oraifite, the IPOB lawyer, according to them. When Nnamdi Kanu was bugging and disturbing this guy to send that money to Ejiofor, this guy was able to explain to Nnamdi Kanu that the money you are asking me to send does not belong to IPOB. This is the United States. And before you spend this money, you will keep the record of what you are using it for. And this money is there. There are part of it that is meant for lobbying. There are part of it that is meant for charity. There are part of it that there are things that you have to do, and they are in percentage. Nnamdi Kanu kept bucking this guy to Ejiofor in Nigeria. Is the part of charity. And the man, Dr. Uchenna Nwokonkwo, requested for receipt, for evidence what that money will be done with. He sent that money to him. The receipt is also on my Facebook page. He sent $19,000. $19,000 to Barrister Ejiofor in Nigeria. Barrister Ejiofor in return sent him pictures of starving children from Ethiopia. That is, he manufactured pictures and sent back as what is going to, as what an evidence of the charity that stands. So they are in the business of embezzling money that is put together by Biafrans for various projects that concerns and pertaining our restoration efforts. And now, after everything done, after Nnamdi Kanu has been able to embezzle, take this money. Last one was $4,000 that they wanted to take from their account, the last money. And Dr. Uchenna Nwokonkwo was able to retrieve this money back to the account, and retrieve because they took the account away from him. Don't forget, he is the one that opened this account. He is the one that went through the process of IRS. IRS are the people that are in charge of taxation in the United States. That means if you make any mistake with such an account, you will go to jail. Of course, for the benefit of your listeners, I want them to know also that the money that Dr. Okoro took out from this bank, $49,101, that he took away from the account, has been reported to the IRS. So it is up to the IRS to deal with that issue. Then Dr. Okoro will explain what he did. Have something. He must explain why he took the money It's a very large chunk of money. It's about $50,000. It's not a little money. He took it from the account. And the second money was the one that Dr. Uche Nwokonkwo sent to Nigeria to Barrister Stage 4, and that is $19,000. So you calculate by yourself. Why is he angry with Dr. Nwokonkwo? There are two angles to that. Number one is because Dr. Nwokonkwo was able to retrieve that account back because the account belongs to Biafrans. It belongs to Biafra Foundation and it belongs to Biafrans. It doesn't belong to Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu does not live in the United States. He has no right to steal any account. He did not open any account. And then the second one is because the Biafra de facto customary government have appointed Dr. Nwokonkwo as the Treasury Secretary. So this guy found it fit, something that he can do in order to malign the name of this man so that the people, the Biafrans, the general public will not take the man serious. Instead, they will look at him as a criminal that he is not. I can vouch for him. Obidio already have vouched for them because I don't know the second person. So I cannot say a lot about it, but I know Dr. Nwokonkwo, and for that reason, I'm speaking up. So I want Biafrans to know that what Nnamdi Kanu is doing to our struggle is unbearable. It's wickedness. It is not good. I remember so much how much we stood behind this guy. It's not like it's a genius. It's not like it's anybody extraordinary. We stood behind it because we want something out of what we are doing. We want our country to be restored. That is why a lot of us volunteered everything we have. We volunteered our time, we volunteered our money, we volunteered everything, even our family peace, our space. And we have stood our ground in so many occasions. When people want to talk about Nnamdi Kanu, we try to defend him. Even when he says those things that he used to say on the radio, I would think that he was joking. I wouldn't know that this guy actually meant every word he was saying. When he's saying it is an order, if somebody does something, burn him alive, kill him alive, tie him on a stake, I thought it was a joke. Until I come to realize that they are all true. That actually somebody has been tied on a stake and left to rot, to be killed by hunger and rot on a stake. Then I come to realize that Nnamdi Kanu is actually using fake police to arrest Biafrans. And then I come to realize that people are being beaten up, like Madam. That if Akuwara did not make that voice message that he left before he disappeared, people will not understand. Even up to this moment, a lot of our people are not putting their mind in that, thinking about it. If you say, let us leave Nnamdi Kanu alone and allow him to continue to destroy the name of Biafrans and destroy our struggle and bringing calamity to our land, how are we going to achieve that Biafra that we are looking up to? There's no way. This guy must get out of the way because he has done unbearable things to our people. Worse than even what the Fulanis are doing. And I'm asking, who have we offended? Why? That in every attempt we make, in every goodwill that we bring ourselves together, one person will become a criminal and then think about how to destroy that. So now, we don't talk about Biafra anymore. When you hear Nnamdi Kanu rant to radio, it's ranting ESN or non-government, and they pray for them, and they worship them, and they do this. My brothers and sisters, we are talking about people who gang themselves, and they are caught people, cutting people's head, shooting people at random, killing people, little children. They just killed one kid. I told you, Lisamakete Ogunike 2 days ago. They keep killing our people, and then Nnamdi Kanu will go on radio and rant. And some people will say, no, leave him alone. I put this blame on Nnamdi Kanu, and I put the blame also on the government, those state governments we have in our land. They must all bear the same consequences. They refuse to do the obvious. They refuse to do what they are supposed to do in order to keep our land safe. And now they have allowed Nnamdi Kanu to fester with his violence all through our land, everywhere. Nowhere is safe anymore. You can't even walk in the bank now, walk into the bank now and think that you're safe. You can't go on the hands of the wrong people, on the hands of criminals. The criminals have been legitimized to kill our people anyhow they want, and they get praises for that. So when we talk about getting rid of our land, getting rid of criminals in our land and terrorists, we talk about the Nnamdi Kanu. They are the two groups that are destroying our land, and we have to call them out for who they are. My brothers and sisters, don't manage words. The truth is truth. This guy must be eradicated from our land. What he's doing is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. Killing our people, destroying our land, bringing violence. Even the violence in Ebonyi State is involved. He is involved. He is involved in every violence that is going on in our land. And I ask again, who did we offend? Why us? Why us? I have not vouched for any war. If somebody listens to our father, General Madiebo, there will be war. Even on the first Biafra, that the only arrangement they were trying to make is some kind of security arrangement for our people. And somebody who is hiding somewhere in Europe, who has no gun, who has not trained anybody to be a soldier, will come up and tell you that he's bringing war. He wants war. Why don't you go down there and lead the war, so that when you're tired or if you're defeated, you go away? You want everywhere in our land that nobody is safe. And some people will come out to defend you and say, don't talk about it. Our people must wake up. It is getting out of hand. Any criminals will bring in the army and start shooting our people from the air. It's not what our people want at all. We are not going to war. If we should go to war, we must have a war council. We must plan for war. But the war is out of equation. For the equation. It's for us to have peace in our land, to secure our own land. They say we should not have our own country. Let them come up with something that will make sure that the lives and the properties of our people are safe, and that our people are not living a life of servitude. But otherwise, what we want is a referendum in order to choose where we belong, what we have to do going forward with our future. But what we have right now is chaos, and somebody is putting fuel on the fire. And that person is Nnamdi Kanu. And this is a guy that we entrusted the leadership of our struggle on. This is a guy who has sabotaged the Biafran struggle shamelessly. And this is the same guy who is destroying the name of genuine Biafrans, going about saying unprintable things about genuine Biafrans. insulting our elders. And these things are wrong, and our people must wake up. If you are an IPOB member, I call on you, wake up, open your eyes, stop listening to lies. Because first of all, you know that oath, it is fraudulent. It's not a real oath. Because Nnamdi Kanu, if that oath is going to kill anybody, it will start with him. It will kill him and him alone. Because he is the one that betrayed the oath, not you. If you see the truth, stand up for the truth. Don't hide your face from the truth. Truth is constant. If you hide your face from the truth, I can tell you that no matter how long it takes, it will come back to your face. I know some people here in Canada, I know how they bickered, how they talk, on the hush voices, how we held meetings here, and those are the ones that are championing this and saying that Nnamdi Kanu should stop what he's doing because it's wrong. And all of a sudden, Nnamdi Kanu cooked up a story against Uchemefo and said that Uchemefo has taken money from MI15 and taken money from Nigerian government. And these guys turned around, vote face. And they turned around. These are the guys that we are complaining that we're saying to BDOBN, why nobody is talking to Nnamdi Kanu? Why is he saying all those things he's saying? Why is he doing all those things he's doing? These guys made vote face. Because, the hypocrisy is towards disease. You have to stand up for the truth. Don't run around. You know the truth, and they are lying about it. And then you're deceiving a lot of people who are looking up to you because you don't want to stand for the truth. Because you are a shameless person who knows what is true, who knows the truth, who says, in privacy, but come out publicly to support evil. So this is my message this afternoon, my brother, George Onyibe. And I want to thank you once again for the opportunity. I pray to God to continue to bless you and bless your family for the great job you are doing for Biafra. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother, for joining me. Honestly, there are still few good men like you in Biafra land who can come up outrightly and say the truth. The people of Biafra must understand. It is simple this evening. Let's ask ourselves this simple question. It is evidence that we have two ways out of Nigeria, either by referendum or by war. Which of these areas can we confidently come out and tell you we are ready? We're simply not ready because every contribution that has been made towards that Jack by Nnamdi Kanu. Now look at his message this day. If he's not telling you we are praising unknown gunmen or doing other acrobatic display, talent display on the platform, he'll be telling you, yes, Dangote is rich, it's monopoly, Igbos are wise, Igbos are this. All this one is to make a promise to you. When Biafra come, there will be no generation. All these promises don't exist. It's just keeping your brain dormant. The point at this moment is, yes, it's because we want to leave Nigeria that we are here. And now it is evidence that we have only two ways to leave Nigeria. Either by referendum or through war. How ready are we when you talk about the issue? What exactly have we done? Does it mean our people cannot ask questions again? How exactly? This is 10 years on. 10 years. 10 years. We put everything into the hand of one man. These are some of the reasons why they say we don't love ourselves. If Nnamdi Kanu truly love our people, every instrument that we have put in place to save Biafrans out of Nigeria, he has practically destroyed all of them. Now it's entertainment. and anybody think anything is going to come out there. No. This is vigilante. It is just to terrorize all the governors of the southeast. Of course, he will not be get more than he can bargain. Most of you are helping him to become what he is doing, just like most of us helped him. But now we know he's not fighting for the interest of our people. This is how he's going to harass all of you. I will send my men. They are acting fake video now, running up and down in the bush. Yes, ESM is pursuing Fulani. Only then they run up and down. They do home video. You are formidable. Fadam Gongo. All of you come and raise money now. There is a reason why we are complaining, why we are crying, why we are making this our voice to be heard. Very soon we will not again. We will only be analyzing your predicament. Somebody, West Africa. I will give oil. Which oil? Your papa own or your mama own? Which oil? Only Fulani is taking our oil. We can't even get a dime. And the same oil you are going to give it to the whole Africa. Is that how other countries like Angola are giving to their neighboring country? But in your mind, you just tell them sweet things they want to hear. On this Biafra Human Rights Radio, we don't tell you sweet things you want to know. We tell you the truth. It's a matter of time. We will struggle. We will struggle, this we know. 2 ways out of this mess. Which of them are we ready? Everything that would have given us Biafra has been destroyed by Nnamdi Kanu, and now he's going to take the sacrifice of few good men to reinstate those things, and it shall be. So when somebody say, oh, they are working for Fulani, what very well which action is working for Fulani Janjaweed? Have we ever considered what will happen to our people outside Biafra land? In fact, the way things are, it is those of us in Biafra land that will hear it. Because those who are outside Biafra land eventually may have protection from people who are keeping them because they know what is happening, or maybe with the help of our reminding them of what is to be. And so Biafrans, wherever you are all over the world, don't let anybody deceive you. The restoration of Biafra, the journey has just begun. We have not even done anything. We have not even done anything. We have not. We encourage you to look for Biafra Nation family closer to you. And you can send us messages on our Facebook. You inbox us through our WhatsApp or other platform. The nearest administrator there will get in touch with you. And honestly, the Biafran de facto customary government, they are working very hard to put instruments in place that will enable us do the necessary thing. And of course, in a time like this, in disguise, we do not say much about what we are doing, but at the right time, they will come to the light. I want to thank and appreciate men and women who made their contribution on this program this evening. And I say, may God continue to guide us and lead us home. That we cannot be deceived by sweet words of man. Of agitation. All of them will turn sour and bitter by God himself exposing his evil, that he may save the people of Biafra once and for all. And all those who choose to remain and accomplish with him in this great evil against our people. Look at all of you. The true words for freedom have been taken from your lips, because you now lie against your people. For how long you choose to deceive yourself is left for you. But the truth remains that we have two-way option to live here. And if we are choosing, we must make sure we are adequately prepared for what is to come. I remain George Unibe, and I sign off from here. Day one.
think it's time. To lay it all out. Can I hear my snare drum?
Yeah, keep it rolling, sis. I'm on it.
That's okay, thank you. Shake a man. Miss summer on this. Walking down the miles on the long journey. Yeah, people said we are nobody, but we know certainly we are somebody. Yeah, time is so hard. These days are like nights, yet we struggle hard to see we get to the light. Like we are making sure that we get to the promised land, a land of milk and honey that is costlier and worth more than gold and money. We are making sure that we get out of this jungle, and the little quirky cabia, my sisters true. No matter how deep the ocean, we will swim through. I tell you words cannot explain all we have gone through. In the hands of the enemies, zoo and the government, Biafran blood passed through with love. But we have Chukwuka Kabiyama, nothing goes wrong. Blacks rules everything around me, and it's pound in my DNA. Cash rules everything around me, and it's found in my DNA. Yeah, freedom is everything about me, and it's found in my DNA. Biafra is everything about me. We bear from blood, we never give up in this struggle. We are aiming high up. We are smart and fast, and the miss can't catch up. Yes, we know what we want, so we keep our pace up. Listen, we can't demand for what is not ours. Biafra is a land, and for sure is ours. That's why I'm proud to say I'm a Biafran blood. I'm a Biafra. Chukwuka Kabiyama has approved it himself. You see, Nigeria glooms while Biafra blooms. Biafra is an ideology, and there is no way that you can kill an ideology. We set up Biafrans and Biafra flowing in the blood through our veins, and all the efforts of our enemies to stop us has all been in vain, cause we are the chosen ones. Yeah, blacks rules everything around me, and it's pound in my DNA. Cash rules everything around me, and it's found in my DNA. Okay, freedom is everything about me, and it's found in my DNA. Biafra is everything about me, and it's found in my DNA. DNA. I apologize if it hurts you, but that's the truth. A Sunday, a Wendy.